Hi everyone. Just wanted to show some games that I picked up here recently. Um, you'll notice an ongoing theme, but let's. So, I am a huge advocate for supporting local game stores, used game stores. I think the used games are so cool, especially with the prices of new games going up and up. Not to say, obviously, there are certainly classic games that can be really expensive. Um, But let me just show you what I got. I got Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation One, so I'm excited to put that into my PlayStation One Slim. I got this for $40. I love the red lettering. I kind of wish I would have gotten the green label. I assume there's a green label version of Metal Gear. It had to have sold enough to get a greatest hits. Um, but I'm bummed that there's no instruction manual. There's the disc cover. I miss about video games. Like they used to really put in work for the art. And not to say that there isn't studios that still do that with special releases, but it's like this was common practice for pretty much every game that came out. There was internal art as well as external. There's disc two. I'm a I'm a budding fan of Hideo Kojima. I really liked Death Stranding. Silly to finish it, but I really like what I've played. And I've been interested in Metal Gear Solid games because I've heard so much about them over the years. Uh, this thing closed. You're Snake, a government agent on a mission to regain control of secret nuclear weapons base from terrorist hands. Memory card, 1 to 15 blocks. Vibration function compatible. Cool. And there's a hint line too on the back. So that's the back. Metal Gear Solid 2 for the PlayStation 2, so I'll be getting more use out of my PlayStation. Solid Snake is back in the latest installment of the critically acclaimed series from director Hideo Kojima. Top secret weapons technology is being mysteriously transported under cover of an oil tanker to an unknown destination. Armed with an arsenal of new weapons, supplies, and stealth maneuvers, it's up to Snake to infiltrate the transport and keep this deadly weapon of mass destruction from falling into the wrong hands. Here's the back. Unfortunately, interesting. Unfortunately, no booklet with this. What I just realized is I think this is the greatest hits disc, but it was in a black label PlayStation 2. It's interesting because I know sometimes there were differences. Like sometimes with the greatest hits that include some extra stuff. So I'll pop that in my PS2 and take a look. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. There's a remake for this coming out on the 20th of August, I believe. So this month. Rival nations are secretly developing weapons that could threaten the future of mankind. Deep in the jungle, an elite soldier must combine stealth with survival to infiltrate the enemy and stop a weapon of mass destruction from triggering the largest full-scale war the world has ever seen. Go behind enemy lines in this riveting story of peace, love, and war from award-winning director Hideo Kojima. So this one was about $18. Oh, there's my receipt. And I think the reason that these ones are a little bit on the cheaper side is because no booklet. Metal Gear Solid 4. Um, got looks like Old Man Snake. In his final battle, a hero must stand alone. Lead legendary hero Solid Snake in this final chapter of the Metal Gear Solid saga and infiltrate all new battlefields with all new gear. Well, it's not the final chapter. Just like Friday the 13th final chapter was not the final chapter. Next, we've got Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Oh, real quick. Metal Gear Solid 4, I didn't show the inside. This one did come with a booklet. PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 area still had booklets. Some of them are like this one's fairly thick and looks like it has some good stuff in it. Um, so that's the inside. So it feels like halfway through the PS3 and Xbox 360's life, they kind of gave up on that. Um, so the guy at the shop told me that this one was, I guess, Phantom Pain was taking so long that they released like a small game, and according to him, this is full price, which is kind of crazy. It's only like he said it was like a 2 to 4 hour campaign. Play as legendary hero Snake and infiltrate a Cuban military base to rescue hostages. Can you make it out alive? Interesting. Like see the booklet in this one it's relatively just kind of nonsense. Ooh, but I like the inside cover. That's neat. I like that. That's cool. Metal Gear Solid 5. I believe this is the last of the Metal Gear games that Hideo Kojima worked with before. I don't know if he quit or got fired or if it was a little bit of both, but when he was working on a game called Silent Hills, and apparently things didn't go over well. And of course, there was the famous PT, which was the precursor to Silent Hills, and Silent Hills never happened, which is maybe one of the greatest games to never be made. All for Revenge. 9 years after the fall of the Mother Base, legendary hero Snake wakes from a coma. Together with Ocelot and Miller, he must rebuild Mother Base and establish a new army force, Diamond Dogs. Only then will he have his revenge on Cypher. The Phantom Pain brings an explosive conclusion to the Metal Gear 5 Solid experience. This one came with. This is more. That. Another kind of half-assed booklet. But what was really cool is that it came with a map. I don't know. Well, there's Diamond Dogs. Reminds me of Diamond Dots. Maybe I'll frame this. It's kind of hard to show the whole thing on camera. And there's the other side. Map's kind of dark, so it's hard to see on camera. But yeah, I love this sort of stuff. So it's like anytime like modern games comes with something like this, I'm always like amazed because I think that's a rare thing now. Last, but I don't know, is it least? I don't know. Metal Gear Rising. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance makes a departure from the Metal Gear Solid stealth formula with the birth of a new high-speed action game featuring the cyborg ninja Raiden. What threats await in a world where privatized military organizations and cyborg technology have spiraled out of control? Find out in this dream collaboration between legendary creators at Kojima Productions and Platinum Games. Oh, this one came with a manual. So I got these for, I think, relatively cheap. I mean, the original Metal Gear, even without the booklet, was $40, but I feel like I got a pretty good deal. Again, I will always encourage people to buy from used video game stores. So I got 7 Metal Gear Solid games to play through. What am I going to do with these? I have a couple of ideas. Not sure how I'm going to implement them. It might even not even happen until next year. The dream is to do a Metal Gear podcast. I've always wanted to run my own podcast. I have a podcast that I am on with my buddy Roy, but that's his baby. I've been a host on there for quite a while. But I've wanted to do a podcast with a clear beginning and end goal. And I feel like having not experienced the Metal Gear games, like I've played maybe 30 minutes of the original, um, that maybe this would be a good starting point. So, for those that are fans of the games or don't know much about the games, let me know what you think would be interesting in a potential podcast about a game series. And I know there are more games in the game series. I just need to make a list, and whether or not should the games that don't have Hideo Kojima involved be included, like should Metal Gear Survive or Snake's Revenge be included? Comment below. Let me know. Take care.